country, something like this can happen to such a great man. I'm really, really terribly in a state of shock at this particular moment. I hope they get the assassins, and I hope that something is done to them. Far worse than killing them.
I have. Okay. It's been a very terrible shock to me. I just hope that they find these people that perpetrated the whole thing. And I know that it's going to be a bad country without him. It's been very wonderful with him. He's been great president, I think.
Ma'am, have you heard the news?
Yes, I did.
How did you hear the news?
To the teletype in 227 in a building.
What was your first reaction?
I didn't believe it.
And you?
I heard it over the radio in my office. My heart dropped into my stomach. I couldn't believe it. I still didn't believe it when they said he was dead. Then when they finally got the confirmation, I guess there was nothing else to do but face it.
Cool. Did you hear the news?
Yes, I did.
What was your reaction?
Well, I was actually shocked, and I know it's happened 3 times before, and I hope they get him for it. And he was a great man.
Fine.
Ma'am, have you heard the tragic news about the president?
Yeah, it's just terrible.
How did you hear the news?
On the radio at work. I was very shocked. It was terrible.
Sir? What was your reaction?
Shocked as could be. I'm still shocked. Still don't know what to say about it.
Ma'am?
I think this is the worst possible thing that could ever happen to our country at a time like this. Beyond belief.
How about you, sir? What is your reaction?
He's the best man we ever had, believe me, and I'm very sorry.
Have you received the news, sir, about... What was your reaction? Ladies, did you hear the tragic news about the president today? What was your reaction?
Well, we were just completely shocked. I think that the American people have just suffered a great loss. It was just such a terrible thing.
And how did you hear the news?
I heard it through a friend, and upstairs. I think it's a tragedy for the whole world.
Does they know who did it? We haven't had time to find out what the situation, who caused it.
We haven't even had time to read the newspaper and see what the details are. We just heard it from the corner there. I just can't believe it. I really can't. It's upsetting, really. Really upsetting.
Sir, what was your reaction?
Right. I saw him many times. I feel very sorry for him. I saw him many times on the table. I talked to him like I talk to you here. I feel sorry for him, the only thing I gotta say. So.
It reminded me of something like what happened to Lincoln. It was so, as I said before, I'm still trembling. I just don't believe it. It's impossible. I mean, he had so much to live for. He was well off, and he gave his life to us, to direct us and rule our country. And somebody could take it away just like that. I don't think he'll ever be forgotten, and I think he'll always be remembered as Lincoln and the other presidents. And I hope the country survives, because right now it's a terrible time. It couldn't have happened to us at a worse time. I don't know what else to say. I'm very taken back by it. It really affected me.
Sir, have you heard the tragic news?
I think it's a terrific shock. I think that we really lost someone that would have helped the future of this country quite a bit. He's young enough to really go quite a ways with us, and we're a young country as it is. It really was a terrible thing.
Come on, George.
Just talk away and I'll make it through. On the personal side, Mrs. Eisenhower and I share the grief that Mrs. Kennedy must now feel. And we send to her our prayerful thoughts and sympathetic sentiments in this hour.
General, how would you counsel the American people at this time?
In the face of such a terrible thing, I'm sure the entire citizenry of the nation will join as one man in expressing not only their grief, but their indignation at this act, and will stand faithfully behind the government.